Welcome back to the GSMC Dead Ball Sports Podcast, hosted by GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Nolan Jamber. Today, it's pretty quiet in sports. Very quiet time in sports. I mean, the play-in starts. That's really all we can really talk about as of like news. Yeah, there's some baseball here and there, but today we're talking mostly basketball. Talk about the play-in from yesterday, how that went, the games today, how that's gonna go, how I think it's gonna go. And then we're going to the Charlotte Hornets. We'll talk about them later. Then we'll talk about the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers again. Team, I just so much to cover about that team. And then in the third segment, you'll have to wait and see. Nah, I'm just trolling. We're gonna talk about the third segment is the NIL, the downfall of college sports. We'll talk about that in the third segment. But before we get into all of that, tips and donations. Tips and donations are a great way to show that you guys care and like the content that we put out. So by tipping and donating, by doing so, it means you guys care, and that means the content we put out is the best that we possibly can. And by you guys tipping and donating, it shows you guys care. So if you do want to tip or donate, if you're not in the live stream, the link's in the bio description in the video, YouTube video. And if you're in the live stream, super chat and sticker is the best way to do so. Even if you don't want to, donate or tip, leave a comment. Comment section of the YouTube video or the live stream comment section. I'll see that right away and get to that. If in the YouTube, I'll see that after I upload it, and then I'll answer that in the comment section. So feel free to do that. And like I said, if you do want to tip or donate, which is always much appreciated, if you're in the live stream, super chat or stickers. If you're not in the live stream, the links in the bio and description are the best way to do so. With that being said, let's get into the first segment of today, which is the NBA play-in so far. We got two play-in segments. We got this one, the play-in last night and tonight. So let's talk about it. So last night was the first round of the SoFi play-in, and it was a pretty good games. One of the games was actually, I'll say one of the games was good. The other one was not. We'll talk about the not good game. The Hawks versus the Magic. For the past 2 weeks now, I've been saying, because the East has been set for about 2 weeks already, I've said the Hawks will lose to the Magic because they're not a good basketball team. Also because the Magic's defensive play is just so good. And I was right. You don't lose to a team by 35. The Hawks lost to the Magic 120-95. The Hawks are just I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Hawks are a very mediocre basketball organization. Always have, always will. Trae Young is your star player, and no matter how good he does, he put up 22 last night. He put up exactly 22, 2, and 6. Or 28, 2, and 6, sorry. I mean, those numbers alone just aren't going to do you very good come play. I mean, yeah, they're good numbers, but when he's the only player on his team putting up 20-plus points, you're not going to win games. Everybody else on his team had 12 or less. I mean, he just surrounded by mediocrity. The Hawks are, I guess, always been mediocre. Their offensive play is not okay. Defensive play is only okay. Each year they have a very average record, literally a 500 record, like 41 and 41, 42 and 40. They will just never. I'm just going on like a Hawks like tangent right now, but I just don't like the Hawks because they always make it to the play-in and do nothing with it. And then if they do make it out of the play-in, they seem to, lose first round because they'll be a play-in team, play either the first or second team, and get swept 4-0 or lose 4-1. It's just annoying to watch the Hawks make it every year and just in a very weak Eastern Conference. And it's just really not fun to watch them play. Trae Young's fun. I love watching Trae Young play, but I just don't like watching the Hawks. The Hawks are just not a fun team to watch in general. The Magic, though, the Magic are a fun team to watch. They are full of young athletes, young all-stars, Paolo, the Wagner twins, Jalen Suggs. I mean, the team is a good young team. And last night, these young stars came out to play. First off, before I get into the stats, the Magic fans were chanting at the end of the game, "We want Boston." And I really do think they can take Boston to a lengthy series, 6 or 7 games. If they played like they did last night for a series against Boston, they could take them to 6 and 7 and win. But if they play, like they've been playing normally all season, with a losing record, their losing record team, they will probably lose in 5. Let's be honest. But if they do play like they did last night, they'll have a very, very good chance to beat the Celtics in 6 or 7, if not take them to a lengthier series. But let's look at some of like the stats for that game. Yeah, Paulo, almost a triple double, kind of not really. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, he's just so good. He's strong. His shooting isn't, his 3-point shot isn't the best, but he's just a very physical athlete, and he's like just plays the same way he did at Duke, and it's just physical and fast, and it works for him. Franz Wagner, one of the Wagner twins out of Michigan, double double, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Cole Anthony, coming off the bench and having 26, 3 and 6. I mean, that just kind of shows the Magic have a very young, deep roster, and you got guys like Cole Anthony coming off the bench, making big plays, dropping 26, and one of the reasons he had the most points in the team last night. And by dropping 26, he's the reason they won by 35. Without him, they would have only won. Like hypothetically, if he didn't drop 26, it's like he dropped only 10. They would have only won by about 7-8 points. So having these guys come off the bench, playing so good, helping you win games is crucial for the playoffs when you have guys who need to take a rest. And the Magic proved that. And like I said, they could, if they play like last night, take the Boston Celtics to a 6-7 game series, and I would love to see. I'm excited to see how that goes. Then we got the Western Conference, the more competitive Western Conference. And last night, Memphis Grizzlies versus the Golden State Warriors. The yawns are back, oh no. But the Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies may have been one of the best play-in games I've ever seen in my life. It was phenomenal from start to finish. It was, well, not really start. The Celtics, or not the Celtics, bleh. The Warriors were up by 18. And, everybody thought, oh, this game's already over. The Memphis Grizzlies come back within 4 for, towards the middle of the third quarter, end of the third quarter. And then it's a ball game. It's really tough, really tight the rest of the way. The rest of the game, it's very competitive. And, you got the guys like playoff Jimmy Butler. People would think, yeah, he's on the Warriors. Maybe he's not there. He doesn't have it anymore. Yeah, he definitely still has it. When Jimmy Butler is dropping 38, 7 and 6 in a play-in game, yeah, I mean, he's never lost it. This is the team that could take Houston easily to a 7-game series. And I think if they do take Houston to a 7-game series, they can also make a way to the Western Conference Finals. I just think they will. The Warriors in the playoffs are just, no matter how mediocre people think they are a very good basketball team. Let's look at that 2022 team, for example. They were a 6 seed. No one thought they were going to make it far. They were the most underappreciated teams in the Western Conference that year, in the NBA that year. And they drive past through everybody, make it to the finals, play Boston, win. No one thought they'd make it in 2022. No one thought they would make it to the NBA championship. Not only did they make it, and they won with really nobody. Yeah, they still, Clay and Steph and the Splash Bros. And Jordan Poole was there as well. I love Jordan Poole at Golden State. But, I mean, no one thought that team still had the ability to make it far in the playoffs. And they proved everybody wrong, winning an NBA championship, another one, and they still have it. This organization, no matter play-in, playoffs, the organization finds players to, be better in the playoffs, and Jimmy Butler is the person they added, and he's one of the reasons they won last night. But like I said, 38, 7 and 6 from his first playoff game with the Warriors, and then Steph Curry, another Steph Curry performance, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, Steph Curry's still phenomenal. He is still the greatest three-point shooter in the NBA, still one of the best playmakers in the NBA, and he's just so dominant. He's been in the league a little while now. He's been in the league a while, and people were, wondering, does he still have the ability to play this high-tier basketball that he used to have? And the answer is very much yes so. He is still just making plays, shooting just as well as he used to. He is still so dominant, and, he still got it. He can be the reason the Warriors a deep playoff run. And then they play, like I said, the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies all around had a pretty good game stat-wise, but, they just made some interesting, silly mistakes towards the end. That 5-second violation, that cost them the game. They have this momentum, only down 2 points, and then they get a 5-second violation. You lose the ball, Warriors go down, score, put it within 5, and then only a 20-second game left, and they lose. I mean, you're in the thick of it. You have the ball, you're down 2 with 30 seconds left, and you get a 5-second inbound violation. That is just the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. That is the silly mistakes that happen, and that is a coaching problem. That's why I say they should have never fired their head coach. A head coach, A competent head coach would not let that stuff happen. He would have called a timeout. He would have, tried to redraw a new player or something. But these interim head coaches, firing these head coaches so late and leaving these interim guys, to run these plays in these deep, close game scenarios and close games, just not going to work. And that's what happened last night. Desmond Bane, though. Desmond Bane has been hooping all year. He had a nice 36-4 for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant had himself considerably an off night. I wouldn't say an off night, but for Ja Morant, it wasn't, the best. 22, 3 and 3. I mean, that's off for Ja Morant. He normally drops, 30, 35 points minimum. But not say minimum, but he's having like 20, 25 plus. And 3 points under his average, just shows you an off night. And if maybe he, got a few more points, I would have won. Jaren Jackson Jr., 18, 6 and 4. I mean, he's just proficient. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been good. He's been like that since college. He's been like that since Michigan State. He plays good defense. He's up for candidate for DPOI, and he's a phenomenal player. He's getting points on the board. He's helping the team win. Zach Edey in his first ever playoff game, play-in game, playoff, whatever. Double-double, 14 points, 17 boards, 2 assists. He did get blocked, by Desmond Bane, which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure how you let Desmond Bane block you, or not Desmond Bane, sorry, Gary Payton Jr. I'm not sure how you let Gary Payton Jr. block you, but if you've seen Gary Payton play basketball, he can jump high. He's freakishly athletic, and that block led to one of his 7 turnovers. Zach Edey had 7 turnovers last night, and for us, you can't be having that happen come playoff time. That's just not gonna. When you lose game by these close points and having 7 turnovers, you're one of the main reasons you lose that game because you lose control of the ball so much. That shows you have a lot to work on and a lot of the organization to think about come, next year. What are we going to do? They're still going to play in the 8 seed game versus the loser or the winner of the 9 and 10 game tonight. But will they win? I'm not sure. We'll have to talk about that in the next segment. That's all I got for this segment. Next segment, we're talking about the play-in tonight. Talk about, who's playing, who's, going to play, who's going to lose, win, all that, who's going to play Memphis, who's going to play the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference with the 8th seed. After that, going to the NIL, talk about that. I want to talk about some thoughts on that. Then we're going to Detroit, talk about the Tigers. We'll get back to all that right after the break.